Hi. Hi, everybody. Oh, the lighting good. It was like a little bit dim at first, and I was like, wait, the lighting may be good. Let me see though. Better? Okay. It's always a lighting thing with me. So I want to talk a little bit about the Damian Lillard situation and what's going on with him because obviously there's a lot going on there, and Damian Lillard still has not been traded. But yet we keep hearing all these reports coming out from different sources from Miami's standpoint, from the league standpoint, the sending out the memo, the Blazers standpoint, like Damian Lillard's standpoint. Like everybody is talking about the Damian Lillard situation, but yet nothing is happening. So I want to give some of my opinions on the situation and what's going on because it seems like it's going to be an ongoing thing for quite some time at this point because apparently there are no real traction on any of the okay. So first of all, apparently Miami is the only one who made a deal. By the way, this is all me obviously reading, reports and articles and stuff like that. So I don't know for certain, what the actual situation is. But all the articles and stuff like that say that the Miami Heat are the only ones who have made an offer so far. So that's first of all. But after that, there is apparently no real traction on the Miami deal. And that's a whole nother situation as it is. At first, the reports were coming out that Portland didn't want Tyler Hero and whatever. So now we're at this point where the NBA sends out a memo and basically is warning Damian Lillard and his agent not to say that he won't play for another team and he won't perform his services, whatever. I don't know exactly what his agent had said. So let me make that clear. I don't know 100% what the agent said and when he called other teams and talked to them, I don't know. So I can't give you a 100% answer on what happened there because I don't know. But what I will say is other players have requested to go to one singular team in recent years. Now, again, I don't know what his agent said to these teams, so I don't know if he actually said Dame won't play for you at all or Dame will not play up to his standards if you trade for him. Like maybe his agent had said to the other teams, Dame will be unhappy here, but obviously Damian Lillard will, perform his, services and, perform his services doesn't even sound right, but you know what I mean because it's a contract. He will play basketball very well, but that he'll be unhappy here because he doesn't really want to be on this team. I'm trying to word this as best as I can because obviously it's a tricky situation. Um, so I don't know, but if his agent said something like that, that's not really new. Like we've had or we've heard other players have that kind of sentiment with some of the recent trades that have happened. And so for me, I'm kind of like, it's hard to pick a side when you don't actually know all the information because everyone just keeps putting out a different report every single day. Like every single person in the situation is trying to gain leverage. Miami, Dame, his agent, Portland, other teams around the league, like everybody's putting out a different report every single day. So like it's even hard to decipher what is true and what is not. But to me, I am as long as his agent didn't specifically say like Dame will not, he'll just like let's say like another team traded for him that wasn't Miami. As long as his agent didn't specifically say like Dame will not play at all. He'll just sit out the entire year, which I don't think his agent would say because his agent, I think, is smart. I don't think that would make sense for him to say that because I think he would know better than to say that. You know what I mean? So, like, unless he did, I don't know. But I'm going to assume he did not say that he didn't say Dame will sit out the entire year. Again, I don't know exactly what he said. I don't know if he said that Dame will not perform up to his level that they were, saying in the memo or whatever. I don't know. But as long as he didn't say to me that Dame will sit out the entire year, he won't play for you at all. I just feel like I said, other players who are way less invested in their franchise, way less invested in their team, did not spend as many years there, did not it's hard to describe someone's loyalty, especially when you don't know somebody, because I don't know any of these players. I don't know any of them personally. But one thing we do know is that Dame has been super patient, super loyal to Portland, and he said repeatedly he wants to win there. He wants to win a ring there. He wants to stay there. And I bet there's a part of him that like still wants to stay now. Not maybe in the sense of like how the team is constructed, because obviously it's not constructed to win a championship this year, but in terms of like this city and all that kind of stuff, I'm sure he still likes it there. There's a reason he wanted to stay there. So to me, I kind of I kind of side with Dame in this case. Like, I am not one to say that, you sign a 5-year contract and then the first year you get to just request out just because, you know what I mean? You don't just get to request out. I mean, you can, but that doesn't mean your needs are going to be accommodated, is what I'm saying. Like, you can say what you want to the front office, but that front office doesn't necessarily have to trade you if you ask for it, right? So that's that. And I also understand from a franchise and organization standpoint that you don't want to just trade a player just because they requested a trade and not like, see the field and, see what kind of offers you're going to get. Like, that you don't just trade them for the first offer you see and do it super fast just because the player may not be the most happy at that moment. Right. So, like, I get all that. But to me, I still side with Dame in a way because, like I said, other players who did not have the connection, I guess, if you want to say, that Dame has with Portland, where he's tried and gave them multiple chances to build a championship contending team. And obviously, part of winning a championship is also on him. So it's not like he's faultless. You know what I mean? Like, he was in those playoff series that, he needed to win in order to get a title. So, and he understands that too. So like, it's not breaking information, breaking news. But my point is, I side with Dame slightly because it's like the player who was one of the most loyal players to the franchise. And it's not like Portland is the Lakers or the Knicks where, like, I'm not gonna say everybody wants to go to the Lakers, but they have it's the Lakers. They're the big franchise. They're in LA. You know what I mean? Like, Dame wanted to stay in Portland. It wasn't about the city not being the biggest to him. And because he was one of the most loyal and patient, and he spent a long time there, I feel like not that you should just send him to Miami and just take whatever they offer you. That is not what I'm saying. But this whole like I don't even know how to describe it. This whole public conversation, basically, I guess that's the best way to describe it, is public conversation that's going on that's kind of like basically like treating Dame as if he wasn't super loyal to Portland. And not just from Portland's standpoint, but I'm saying like this NBA memo. Now I get that the NBA doesn't like the memo may have come because this is like the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. And because of the players who did this before him, he's kind of like the final straw. So like I understand the NBA, it may not be directly targeting him just because he's the first person to do it, because he's not. But I feel like at the same time, everybody is like throwing so much shade at Dame, and like I feel like he's getting so scrutinized, and like it's just really wild to me. The one player who everybody actually criticized for years for staying with Portland because he wanted to win there. Everyone was saying, Dame, like, you can go win a championship elsewhere. Like, you don't need to be loyal to them anymore. Or, like, all that stuff. And now that he requests out, everybody's turning on him. That's like insane to me. That's what kind of rubs me the wrong way. Like, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Like I said, the organization, has to do what's best for them in some way. Although I will say, other players around the league are watching what they do in this situation and how are they going to treat the Dame situation with the trade. Other players are watching because remember, once Dame is gone, they're going to be looking for their next superstar, their next star. Yes, they have, Scoot Henderson and Shaden Sharp and all that stuff, and they want to develop them into superstars. But when free agency comes around, you want to be a destination that players want to go to. And players pay attention to these kind of things. They're watching this whole situation play out. So I will say for Portland, like again, they're trying to do, I guess, what's best for them and get a better package. But they also have to remember down the line how they handle the situation, which they may not exactly be thinking about. And I don't know if they are, so I'm not accusing them of anything. But they may not realize that the way that this situation is playing out right now doesn't put them in the best light in terms of a player standpoint. Now, again, they're not doing anything like wrong right now by not trading him yet and waiting to get maybe a better offer. But I'm just saying, like, there are multiple sides to the coin. It's not like a heads or tails coin, it's not two sided. There's like so many different angles that things happen down the line in the future and stuff like that. So to me, like I said, I feel like Dame should be accommodated more, I guess, than how they are projecting that they will accommodate him. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like based on all the reports that we are hearing and seeing, that it just seems like Portland is not being accommodating that much. And again, like I am not accusing them of anything because I do not know any of the conversations that went on. I do not know how accommodating they actually are going to be or are trying to be with Dame. So I'm not, like I said, this is a tough situation to speak on because nobody even knows the facts at this point because the facts keep changing. It's really opinions nowadays. So, in my opinion, I just wish that Dame wasn't being painted in the way that he kind of is just because of like how he was during the time that he was with Portland during all those years. Like he didn't complain, at least not publicly. He didn't complain. He kept trying to win there. He obviously always played as hard as he could, gave his maximum effort. I don't know I don't live in Portland, so I don't know exactly what he did with the community, but I've heard good things about what he's done with the community there. He likes it there. He's a good representative of, basketball in the NBA in general, but also for Portland as well. So I say all that to say it's a tough situation. And I don't know exactly what his agent said to Boston. Well, I'm saying Boston specifically just because I know Boston was one of the teams that were mentioned. But Boston and whatever other team requested that they potentially want to trade for Dame, maybe the Sixers. So, like, I just know those two were, like, in the talks that they potentially wanted to trade for Dame. And so I'm sure they were two of the teams that spoke to Dame's agent. So, them and whoever else spoke to Dame's agent. I don't know what he said. I cannot give a direct answer, and I am not accusing anybody, Portland's organization, the NBA, Dame's agent, Dame, because I do not know what was said and what was not said. And to be honest, most of us don't know at this point. But what I'm saying is the way that it went for other players in recent history, and not just one, but multiple players, that's just kind of where I'm like, I don't understand why all of a sudden it's like Dame is this villain. Because, like, he requested a trade when everyone was telling him to request a trade and leave Portland a long time ago, that's what doesn't make sense to me. It's like it's a double it's a what's the saying? I forgot what the saying is, but basically like if you do what they want, then they're unhappy. If you don't do what they want, then they're also unhappy, basically. So like to me, I don't think Dame did anything wrong by requesting a trade at this point, and everybody has been asking him to do that for a while. And to me, I don't care. Like if he wants to stay, then let him stay. If he wants to go, then he can go. Like to me, it doesn't bother me. I don't care personally. Like I want him to just do whatever's best for him. It's his life, not mine. But I just, like I said, I side with Dame slightly in this situation because I just feel like I feel like he's getting misrepresented, as crazy as that sounds. You know what I mean? So that's my opinion on the Damian Lillard situation and what's going on. Hopefully, it gets resolved soon and we could see Dame playing, whether that be with Miami, because that is obviously his number one choice, or somewhere else. I don't know. I think Miami would be like a perfect fit, by the way. Like, it's not even just that Dame wants to go to Miami and that Miami wants him, but Damian Lillard is actually like a perfect fit on Miami. He is exactly what they need. Now, I know they were number one in 3-point shooting in the playoffs, but they obviously lost Gabe Vincent, who was a big part of that. And then Tyler Hero would be gone in this deal. So Damian Lillard, well, I would assume Tyler Hero will be gone in this deal if it goes down. So Damian Lillard brings shooting. Damian Lillard, we know, has hit a lot of buzzer beaters. And now you got two players who can hit a lot of sorry. Now you have two players. Let me take a sip of water. Now you have two players who can hit buzzer beaters, Jimmy Butler and Damian Lillard. And he just makes them, a big three, basically, if you want to say that. Like, I know someone's going to say, well, Bam is not part of a big three. Well, did you see Bam in the finals? He was awesome. So, star power would be on their side for sure. Talent would be on their side. And we know Miami is great at developing players. Like, I'm sure they have somebody right now that they are bringing in for, training camp, and they'll be on the roster and they'll end up averaging 10 points per game and be a key piece of their roster next season. So that's my opinion on the Damian Lillard situation. I hope it gets resolved soon. I understand everybody's standpoint and everybody's viewpoint in this situation from the NBA, not wanting, they don't want to continue players asking out, especially when they have a bunch of years left on their deal. Because, Dame has like 3 or 4 years left. So, like, even asking out on the last year of your deal is obviously not ideal for the NBA, but like asking out when you just sign a new extension, stuff like that, obviously is not ideal for them. So that's one thing. I understand from Portland's standpoint of not wanting to just give him up for anything, like just any offer that comes in. Of course, you want to get value back. Damian Lillard is a valuable player. And I respect their decision to not just trade him within the first day of him requesting. That's totally fine. But then also, like I said, Damian Lillard has put in the time. He has been loyal to them. From what we see, he hasn't complained much. And I just think, I just hope it gets resolved soon so we can see everybody happy. Portland can be happy because they get whatever they're looking for in a deal for Damian Lillard in a package. Dame's happy. He gets to go to Miami, be on a contender, and potentially contend for a championship at some point, maybe next season. And then the NBA, well, I guess their issue isn't resolved by Dame being traded, but then after that, they can, I don't know, work in some new rules, I guess, to help prevent requesting trades. I don't know. But that's my opinion on the Damian Lillard situation. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about the situation and what's going on. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.